Hi everyone! If you're new here, I'm Allen with Earthglow, and this channel is all about sharing the joy of candle making. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my progress. I know you have all been along with me on this journey of figuring out which scents I like for my 2023 Rustic Collection release, and I think I have narrowed it down from all the scents that we looked at to like 5 or 6 different ones, and then one fragrance that I'm gonna be like blending different scents to try to replicate on camera, and I'll talk more about that later. But anyways, I'm so excited to share this with you, and if you are interested in these types of things, consider subscribing. I am always posting content about my candle business, and also don't forget to tap the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. And let's get right into today's video. So I think the way I want to structure my video is to share with you each fragrance that I am strongly considering for my Rustic collection, and why I chose each fragrance, basically, like what they mean to me. And just for a little bit of kind of backstory, my Rustic collection is the opposite of my Wanderlust collection. So my Wanderlust collection that I released in 2022 is all about showcasing different cities in the world that are, to me, just lovely cities. So, but fragrance-wise, it's all about exoticism, complexity, cosmopolitanism, and the Rustic collection is the total antithesis of that. It's about simplicity, it's about kind of a rural setting out in the countryside, almost like pastoral, just very simplistic, wholesome, earthy, and almost nostalgic in a way. So all these fragrances have sort of a nostalgic meaning to me, or a meaning that relates to being wholesome, being in nature, just kind of my whole theme for the collection. So the first one is Oatmeal, Milk, and Honey by Nature's Garden, and I chose this fragrance because it is just so, like, it's the most beautiful oatmeal, milk, and honey that I've ever smelled. And actually my very first candle, so my very first candle that I made like 5 years ago, I went to Michael's craft store and got fragrance from there because I didn't know where to get fragrances obviously from when I was first starting. And I got an oatmeal, milk, and honey fragrance there, and I just fell in love with candles, making my own candles, after smelling that fragrance, because it was just, it just had this beautiful, wholesome aesthetic to it. And the one from Nature's Garden, like I said, is by far my favorite. It's way better than the one that I had smelled from Michael's, but it just has something so simple and quaint about it. And you definitely get the oatmeal, milk, and honey notes in this one. And the hot throw, I actually made this in one of my concrete candle vessels. The hot throw on this one is just out of this world. And I made this one with my beeswax, soy, and cocoa cream wax blend with a wooden wick in one of the concrete vessels. The hot throw is amazing on this fragrance. Okay, and then the next one is Fireside by Stone Candles. And I know in one of my previous videos I was talking about this fragrance and how I wasn't sure whether or not I liked it, but that I definitely liked it more than like the Candle Science one. I have decided that like the more I smell this fragrance, it kind of has been growing on me, and I have really kind of fallen in love with this fragrance. It's so complicated with these Fireside scents, but this one I think is the best that I have smelled. The one from Flaming Candle, their Fireside is really good too, but it's already in my collection. It's called Naughty List, and I use that one at Christmas time. It is such a big seller. But this one, like, I wanted that classic bonfire type of a scent, and I think that is probably what I'm gonna call it, is bonfire. just like you're outside in the fall with your friends, and just that bonfire scent that we all know and love. This fragrance by Stone Candles captures just perfectly. And the third one is, okay, I'm really sad about this, but it was gonna be Hot Apple Pie from Candle Science. This hot apple pie reminds me so much of what the pie was that my grandma used to make when I was a little kid, but they actually discontinued that scent. So I know I was like really sad about that. But the other one that has to do with apples that I actually kind of love more in a way, because this reminds me so much of when I used to pick apples at this place called Jolly Orchards when I was a little kid. My mom used to always take my sister and me there, my dad, and we would go on a hayride, we would pick apples, and we would just have the most wonderful time there. So Macintosh Apple from Candle Science. And I think this is the best Macintosh apple I have ever smelled. This fragrance reminds me of when I was in Yankee Candle as a kid too with my mom. She would always get like the harvest scented candles and the apple scented candles that they have. I just love this fragrance, and the hot throw on this one is also amazing. I did make it into a soy candle. I still need to try it in my beeswax soy and cocoa cream wax blend with the wooden wicks. But wow, wow, wow. If you're looking for a nice Macintosh apple, the runner up to this one is the Candles and Supplies Macintosh apple, but the Candle Science one, you could thank me later. It is amazing. Okay, and the next one is called Garden Mint. And yeah, I had bought a little sample of this one, and I just bought a 5-pound tub because, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. This scent is just so rustic to me and nostalgic, and it literally smells like you're sticking your head into an herb garden, just like I am. Like, when I smell this, it immediately takes me right to a garden, and I smell the earth with this fragrance too. And it reminds me of growing up when I was a little kid. My sister and me would always go to my grandma's house, and she had herbs growing in her backyard. She had mint plants and she had parsley plants, and what we would do is we would always try to like pick them and eat them in her yard, kind of like rabbits do. But my sister and I did that at my grandma's, and she would tell us, like, can you please leave like at least a third of the parsley plant or a third of the mint plant, because that way the plant can keep growing, because we would like take it all the way down to the dirt otherwise. So Garden Mint from Candle Science, and this one is amazing HT wise as well. I did test in my soy candles, and I will keep you updated on how it throws in my beeswax soy and cocoa cream candles with the wooden wick. The next fragrance is Pink Lilac and Willow from Aztec. This one reminds me so much of going for walks like as a little kid, and I would always try to pick the lilac flowers in the springtime. Actually, like right around this time of year, the lilacs are in full bloom in Michigan, and I would always try to pick the flowers, and sometimes even when I was really little, I would try to take them like from neighbors, and from like just walking down the street, I would try to like take things off of bushes, which isn't really probably good practice, but I didn't know as a little kid. But this Aztec fragrance is something really special. Like, it's not just a straight lilac. You definitely get the willow to it. And the lilac is like, I love the French lilac from Candle Science, but this lilac is a totally different aesthetic. Like, this one is not, the French lilac from Candle Science is very clean, whereas this one is like, it's like telling me a story. Like, it speaks to my heart. And it definitely has that willow note to it as well. So you get that kind of green note. playing with the lilac. It's very spa-like, but nostalgic, spa, simplistic, just, oh, it's everything I could want and more. The next one is Magnolia and Peony, and this one is by Candle Science. Now, I don't know for sure that I'm totally in love with this one, but I do really like the idea of it. And I was even thinking of mixing it with the pink lilac and willow and just seeing how that works, like how they go together. I just want to smell them here right now together, because I feel like that would add kind of a unique twist to mix both of those fragrances and just kind of have it my own signature fragrance. And of course you all are welcome to use the blend too if it works out well, but just kind of an idea that I had. And I'm drinking this amazing hibiscus tea right now as well. It is so, so good and soothing in the evening. If you've ever had hibiscus tea, it's one of my all-time favorites, right next to African Autumn. If any of you have tried African Autumn tea, just amazing. And the very last one that I have for my Rustic collection, it's kind of a sad story. So I fell in love with this barnwood from Aztec, but then I found out that it had phthalates in it. And I do not use phthalates in my candle line. So what I was trying to do was basically mix, well, we have a lot of different things here. So I have Leather by Candle Science, Birch and Black Pepper by the Flaming Candle. So basically I'm trying to mix a lot of fragrances that I think have similarities together to try to get something similar to that Barnwood by Aztec. So Tobacco Cedar, Cozy Cabin, Cedarwood Blanc by Candle Science. So I just kind of went through the whole scent profile on Aztec's website, and I was trying to see what I had in my own fragrance collection that would come close to what the fragrance notes were on that one, as well as to my nose that kind of smelled as much like that one as possible, or like I could blend it with something else and get a close approximation. So vetiver, and then I grabbed amber and driftwood, as well as sandalwood. And this one, if you haven't watched my fragrance blending video, this sandalwood is so versatile and I use it in so many different fragrances to add that kind of smooth, earthy finish. But anyways, I am playing with blending those. So far, the best thing I have gotten is mixing Birch and Black Pepper by the Flaming Candle with, where is it? With sandalwood and a hint of vanilla birch. And I don't know that I like the vanilla birch in there because it's just a little bit too sweet. It may end up being tobacco cedar, but definitely it's gonna include this birch and black pepper from the Flaming Candle, as well as sandalwood from Candle Science, and then maybe a few other things, just depending. It's such a fine line when you're blending because you don't wanna have too much going on, or if you, like, basically if you mix too many fragrances, it can sometimes just smell like you mixed a lot of fragrances because they all have multiple notes to each of them. And so I try not to mix more than like 4 in a certain scent. Sometimes I'm known to mix 5, but generally I try to keep it under 4 if I'm doing a blend. So I will keep you all updated on this, and maybe I'll even post a video where I'm kind of talking through my process on camera on how I blend different fragrances together and kind of what goes into that for me. But anyways, that is all for today's video. I am so excited about my progress, and I thank you all so much for being with me on this journey as I am learning to make concrete candles and launching my Rustic collection in 2023. If you did like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and tap the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And thank you so much for watching, and happy candle making.